Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on Raj's Garage. Today we're focusing on one of my classic BMs. The previous episode I showed you my E31 840 Ci. Now this is a classic BM which is a little bit older and it's doing exactly what it does. It promotes the business. So it's inside our car security showroom. So this is the last of the line E24 635 CSI. And what I mean by that, it's a limited edition, Motorsport Edition, finished in Macau Blue. They only made 180 units of the Motorsport Edition vehicle, and they're all right-hand drive for the UK market. Three colors, Macau Blue, obviously, which is what this is, red and silver. There are a few subtle modifications I've done. So the plan today, guys, is to pull the car out of the showroom, get it serviced. So we're going to drop it off to Birds in Iver. The car's not been serviced for probably a couple of years, hasn't really been driven that much. And what we'll do is when we collect the car, we'll have a better look around the car and go through some of the features and the modifications a little bit more in depth, and we'll go for a drive. So first things first, let's pull the car out of the shop. Whilst my 635 is over at Birds, just getting some TLC, I thought I'd reintroduce another BM to the channel. Now, it's a car that I bought, I think, in October last year, E92 M3 in white, as you can see, with this lovely red interior. It's got the competition pack, which is what I wanted. I actually wanted it in white. Great car, and I have been using it. As you can see, it's dirty, so it's not been parked up for 10 months. And it's a great car. It's, it's a V8, 400 odd brake, good power delivery, lovely exhaust note, but it is lacking some engine note. And I think it's time we had a chat with our friends over at Evolve Automotive. I've heard a few cars with the air intake and it just totally transforms the car. I do have other BMs in the fleet, but they tend to be classics, as you can see. So this is something that's a little bit more usable, and I just want a better soundtrack when I am using it. But this is one for the future. I thought I'd plant the seed now. So the plan is to change the plenum and the air intake, and this will be all changed to carbon fiber. So guys, stay tuned. That will happen probably over the next month or two. Okay, we're back at Birds in Iver. The car has been serviced, so let's grab Cos and he can run through what they've done to the car and any advisories or any concerns that they have found with the vehicle that they need to let me know about. So guys, here is Cos. How are you doing?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm really good, I'm really good. Now, for those of you that don't know, Birds BMW is in Iver. It's literally a stone's throw away from us at CAS HQ in Hayes. And they've worked on my 635 CSI before. In fact, just as lockdown kicked in 2020, they did a few bits. I just wanted Cos to go over the car, make sure there are no other issues with it. Now, did you find any issues?
No, not really. What we have done, did an oil service, carried out a vehicle check, gone through it top to bottom, checked all the systems, electrical operation, undersized suspension, brakes. We've gone ahead with the brake fluid renewal because that's not been done for a good 3-4 years.
Correct, yes.
Good idea to get it done, and we've renewed and flushed the cooling system. And that's it, the car's good. A couple of small minor issues, nothing of any concern. Yeah, you will get a document, everything's reported on there. So realistically, she's good to use and enjoy for the summer.
The sun is out now.
It is out today. It's blinding me here.
Glorious day. Now, a little bit about yourself here. You're service and workshop manager?
That's correct. So anything that comes in front of house,
you're the man.
You pretty much speak to me to start with. Service, maintenance, repairs, diagnostic work. That's pretty much our strong point, diagnostic work. And then we do the tuning stuff, the quave differentials,
right,
suspension. So pretty much a bit of everything here.
And you don't mind looking at old classics, do you?
I don't. No, I don't.
Well, even Birds don't, because there are some independent dealers that shy away from looking at some of the classics.
Absolutely. Classics can be a challenge for several reasons. One, product knowledge. to parts availability.
Yeah, sure.
So it's eyes wide open when we go into it, and once we build up that relationship with the customer, we learn more about their particular car, then it's much easier going forward.
Perfect.
But starting from a blank point, it can be a challenge at times.
Right, so what I need to do now is, the keys are in his hand.
They are.
I need to go inside, settle the bill, and then we'll get over to CAS HQ. We'll give the car a clean, and then we'll go out for a drive and talk about my gorgeous 635 CSI. So this is a Motorsport Edition, as I said to you right at the beginning of this episode. It's a 1989 model. It's in fact the last edition, the last run of 635s that came off the BMW production line, and they made 180 units for the UK market only in 3 different colors: Macao Blue, Nogaro Silver and Misano Red. Now, fun fact, those 3 names, so Misano, Nogaro and Macau, are actually names of racing circuits in Germany. Bet you didn't know that. So this being a Motorsport Edition, you would think that it's got additional horsepower. Well, I don't think there is. There are rumors that it may have slightly more, but there's no proof. It's more about the aesthetics externally and internally, which I'm going to go through now. So externally, you've got the Shadowline trim. This is also what they class as a Highline, so you've got all the black trim on the outside as well. Internally, you've got lashings of leather. So all the Macao Blue editions came with Lotus White Nappa, as you see here, and the other 2 colors got black leather interior. Now, virtually everything is covered in leather, including the dash, which has got stitched leather in black, but stuff like the center console, the glove box, the sun visors, the A-pillars, they are all covered in leather. The car also has rear headrests, you've got electrically operated mirrors, you've got AC, there's even funky wipers on the front lights. That's all part of the Motorsport Edition. There's probably a few of the bits and pieces that I've forgotten, but that's what comes to mind as I'm talking to you guys now. Oh, there's even a cool rear blind for the rear passengers so they don't get the back of their head burnt. Pretty cool, eh? Now, I bought this car in November 2019, a few months before COVID. Purchased the car off my good friend Merlin over at Duke of London. The car had already been previously painted, but not up to my standards. So there's some areas that I had to readdress, such as some of the lower sills. Those were minor issues and they were quickly addressed. Now, off the bat, these are quite heavy cars. Even though it's a straight 6 3.4 litre engine, you'd think that's a lot of power. It's not. You know, it's probably what, 1500 kilograms, and it's a bit of a sluggish engine. It takes time to build up speed. So it's about 215 brake horsepower from memory, 210, 215, 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds. Top speed somewhere around 145 miles an hour. So it's a proper GT cruiser. It's not a fast GT cruiser, just a nice cruiser. It's the kind of car that maybe you would have bought if you were a CEO in the 80s of a company. A bit like the E31 840 that I showed you in one of my previous episodes. You know, that was the car, if you're a CEO, you would have probably bought in the 90s. This is the 80s CEO car. So very much a car that you'd get from point A to B in a luxurious style and just cruise there, just like waft there. Just put my foot down. So as you can see, it's going. It takes its time, but it gets there. It's a 4-speed automatic box and it is switchable into sport mode. I'm just in cruise mode at the moment. And when I purchased this car, the whole point was to try and showcase some of the products that we sell at Cardiff Security, and more so the suspension. So the first thing we did was actually, when I bought the car, was pull out the old suspension and replace the suspension with Airlift 3H Performance and height sensors. So each corner of this car now has a height sensor. So what the height sensor will do, depending on the amount of load in each corner as you're coming into the corner or roundabout, it will adjust the ride height to try and keep it flat. Definitely has transformed the car. The car does drive a lot better, and I can just you can just jump in this, cruise and throw it around and have some fun. So yeah, very much a car that we bought to showcase products that we sell over at CAS. The controller for the airlift that controls the manifold is just here. The airlift controller is actually built into a Motorola handset, so we managed to find one on eBay, cut the handset apart and fitted the controller in there, and I think that looks really cool. Also, obviously, we've upgraded the suspension. We had to change the wheels. I managed to source a set of deep dish Hartigers from my friend Koz, who you met earlier on at Birds Iver. Those wheels had seen better days. I dropped them off to Ellie at Voodoo Motorsport, who split the wheels, refurbished the centers, but now what you have are stepped up 17s to 18s, and they look absolutely amazing with massive dishes. The wheels are 9-inch wide on the front and 11-inch wide on the back, so it's a massive dish on the back. Now let's talk about prices. A stock 635 CSI which needs some work, maybe has rust issues, and these cars do rust. They are notorious for it, and literally every panel, you know, front to back, scuttle panel, around the windscreen, around the rear screen, these cars do rust. So yeah, you need to really be careful if you are buying a project car, because parts aren't cheap, and a lot of the parts are NLA, no longer available, so you're gonna have to scour eBay and so on just to find the parts. So a car that needs some level of work, you could pick one up for about 15 grand. A good car which has had a restoration, you're probably looking at somewhere between 25 to 30,000 pounds. And a car which has been, I would say, not fully restored but well restored, good service history, good provenance, you know, not miles that are just like ballistic, you're probably looking 30k plus. So a little bit more expensive than the 8 Series, and I don't think there are as many 6 Series out there as the 8 Series, but nonetheless a very special car indeed. In fact, when you go to car shows, you very rarely see a 6 Series, and especially one that's been looked after like this one. Now Koz has an amazing 635 CSI, which was his dad's car, which now Koz has taken to another level. So yeah, there are some lovely 6 Series out there, but most of them are tucked away under a cover. So yeah, let me know what you think of my E24. Good, bad. It is a stancy looking car. I know it's not for everybody. The wheel and tire setup may not be everybody's choice, but it serves a purpose, which is to market the brand, car security, airlift and so on. And obviously for social media, for pictures, the car does look stunning. So let me know what you think in the comments. Which one would you prefer? The E31 8 Series or an E24 6 Series? Me personally, I prefer the 8 Series, but this is still a great car. If you like this episode, smash the like button and make sure you're subscriber to the channel, because there's a lot more content coming your way.